Unfortunately, how to save money isn't something that a lot of us are taught at schools. For the most of us, it's actually something we learn a lot later on in life after we've been through it. So once we've got ourselves into debt or once we're saving towards a particular massive goal. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is actually sharing with you 12 practical ways that you can actually start saving money today. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Tolu, and on this channel I share content all around personal finance, budgeting, frugal living, and I show you how to live your best life on a budget. No matter where you are on your financial journey, there's always room to change things. There's always an opportunity to turn things around. So whether you're in a lot of debt and you're trying to pay that debt off, or whether you're just saving towards a massive financial goal, no matter what it is that you're saving money towards, there's always a way to do it, and you can always make a change. Sometimes all it actually takes is one step in the right direction to actually turn things around and move things in the right direction for you. But I guess, as is the case with so many things, it's always the first step that is always the hardest. So that's why in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you those 12 practical ways that you can actually start saving money today. So I just want to make a quick disclaimer and say that these 12 things in isolation are not going to be life-changing. But if you do them consistently and apply different ones of them to your finances, you're going to see huge differences and you're going to see yourself saving so much money. So if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to know more practical ways to save money and more frugal living tips, then please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and without further ado, I'm going to get into those 12 ways that you can save money today. Without sounding like a broken record, if you've been around my channel for a number of weeks or months, you're gonna have heard me talk about this before, but I'm gonna say it again for those of you that are new here, and just as a reminder for everybody watching, that you need a budget. If you haven't created a budget, then you're not gonna have a clue where your money's going. You're not gonna actually know the areas in which you can save money without a budget. Creating a budget will actually open your eyes to where your money is really going. So you might actually have an idea of where your money is going and think you know where you're spending your money, but creating a budget will actually eliminate any confusion. You'll know by fact exactly where your money is going and the areas in which you can now start making savings. So if you don't actually have a budget and don't know where to begin when it comes to budgeting, then definitely grab a copy of my free budget template, the link to which will be in the description box below. That template is actually a zero-based budget template, and the beauty of a zero-based budget is that every single penny and every single pound is given an assignment to do at the start of the month, so that you know by the end of the month where all your money is actually going. So you can allocate money to different budget categories and know exactly how much you have for savings. So yeah, download a copy of that budget template from the link in the description bar below. All you have to do is fill in your email address and you can download a copy of the budget template for completely free. Do you actually know how much money you spend every single month? And if not, why not? Like, you need to know exactly where your money is going. Don't rely on guessing or estimates or guesstimates. What you need to do is actually be clear exactly where your money is going every single month. And the best way to do this is literally tracking your expenses. So there's so many expense tracker apps that you can actually download that will do this for you. So you literally just log all your transactions on there. I know Monzo apparently is very good for actually tracking your expenses too. Or you can just do it the good old-fashioned pen and paper way, which is the way that I did it for ages. By tracking your expenses, you actually have a better understanding and a better view of where your money is actually going, and you'll be more aware of your spontaneous spending and where you're just shopping on impulse and buying things that are not within your budget and are not planned. Another way that you can save your money is by cutting out unnecessary spending. Like, literally cut it out. Stop acquiring stuff just for the sake of acquiring it. Be intentional with how you spend your money. I'm very guilty of this. I'm actually preaching to myself when I say this, but it's so true. You really do need to cut out unnecessary spending. So I know for myself, January sales, that is the time when I go crazy with my shopping. Like, literally, I'll just have money saved and I say January sales, I'm going to go shopping, and I buy a whole load of things, half of which remain in my wardrobe without actually ever seeing the light of day. I never wear them, I never use them, but because they were cheap, they were on sale, I felt the need to buy them. But it's like, I'm just acquiring things for the sake of acquiring them. I actually have no need for them. So just be mindful of that when you're actually shopping. Like, do you actually need this purchase? Is that something that's actually going to derail you or steer you off course from achieving your overall financial goal? And if it is, just leave it, because all it's going to do is just delay you from getting to your actual financial goal. You really do need to be honest with yourself when it comes to your spending behavior and just make the conscious effort to do better. One of the things that you can do to save yourself money is to declutter and actually sell items that you don't need or that you don't use. This is something that I did a lot of last year, and it's something that I definitely want to revisit again this year. It's just decluttering my house, getting rid of stuff. So things that I don't use, things that my husband doesn't use, the kids don't use. Like, you'll be surprised how much stuff that you actually have in your house that you have no need for, but it literally has a pound value and could actually be used by somebody else. It can add value to somebody else's life and also save you money in the process. So definitely have a think about things in your house, items of clothes that you have not touched in the last 10 years. Really, it's time to let it go, and it's time to turn that unwanted clutter and unused items into cash. As a female, I'm guilty of this. We like to have options. I could have the same pair of shoes in 5 different colors. Is that actually necessary? Probably not. I probably could do with half of that amount of shoes. So if that is you and you know that there's things in your house that you don't use, that you haven't used in years, and that you have no need for, turn that into cash. There's so many apps that you can resell these things on, from Spock to Depop to Vinted. Like, there's so many even eBay, there's so many different places that you can actually get rid of these pre-loved things and get yourself some money to add to your savings. Turn all that unused clutter into cash and watch your money grow. One trick that will always help you to save money is to pay yourself first. So pay yourself first before paying for anything else in the month, and you're going to be guaranteed to save money. But don't pay yourself first and then dip back into that money when the rest of your money runs low. Put that money aside, save that money, and forget about it, so you can give it the opportunity to grow and work for you. So when you're paying yourself first, you'll do that when you get paid. So on payday, you literally assign that money to your savings and don't think about it. That way, when all these other expenses occur as the month goes on, you only have what's left in your current account. Whereas if you have all the money in your account and you say you're going to save it at the end of the month, what tends to happen is that all that money gets spent and the end of the month comes and you're like,
oops, I haven't got no money to save. I'll try again next month.
And that's going to keep happening until you make that decision to be intentional with your savings and make it a priority. Another way that you can start to save money is by reducing your expenses. So 5 ways to cut back on your expenses. So on my channel, I talk about living your best life on a budget, and I'm always finding frugal ways to make things happen at a fraction of the price. And that's something you should definitely adopt to your lifestyle. So for example, if your monthly food budget is currently £500, find a way to bring that down to £450, and that extra £50 can go towards saving. That £450 is definitely doable if you just get creative with your meals. Maybe don't have takeout as often, maybe skip the coffees twice a week, maybe walk to work a couple of times a week. Whatever you can do, there's so many areas in which you can make a savings if you make that decision to do it. So be intentional with it, get creative with it. Do you need that annual gym membership if you've only gone to the gym twice this year? Like, just think about it and think about areas in which you have expenses that you're not necessarily getting the value out of, and find ways to cut them back and reduce them. If there's one area in which you can save money on, it's food. Just by implementing meal planning into your life, you're going to save yourself a fortune when it comes to your food budget and your food spend every single month. Your food budget is one of those expenses that you actually do have control over. So things like your mortgage, things like your car insurance, those kind of things, you don't have control over them. You have to pay them month in, month out, regardless of what you're trying to save towards or regardless of what your income is. Those expenses need to be paid. But some expenses that are variable, such as your food budget, that's the area in which you can control it and you can do something about. So meal planning will definitely help you in reducing your meal costs. Set yourself the challenge of actually using up some of the food that you have in your cupboard. So a lot of us in our freezer, we have food that we bought months ago that we just haven't got around to eating. Maybe make that conscious effort to actually make meals out of those things and actually start using up things that you have in your freezer and in your food store cupboard. Not only is it a financial saving, but it's probably a lot more healthier too for you to actually do meal prepping and actually prepare your food yourself rather than eating out a lot and spending money on food unnecessarily. This leads nicely onto my next point. So not only can you save money by meal planning, what you can also do is save money by eating out a lot less. So don't go to restaurants all the time. So if you're a person that eats out twice a week, maybe reduce it to once a week and save that money from that second meal. Do you actually know how much you spend a month on takeouts? Because that is one area that we were not aware of how much we spent until we actually did that task of tracking our expenses, and we were shocked. I remember a few months ago when I was tracking my expenses, and at the end of the month I looked back and I'd spent £90 something at McDonald's. And I was mind blown. I was like, how did I spend so much at McDonald's just by getting a McChicken sandwich meal and 2 Happy Meals for the boys? But it wasn't because I did it once, it's because I did it a few times during the month. So those few trips to McDonald's that I thought was only a few pounds, it added up to a lot of pounds by the end of the month. So I think it's so important to actually reduce the amount you eat out and reduce the amount of takeaways that you get. You can actually have fun and enjoy time with your family and friends without spending money, and I think that's a great way to save money by presenting alternative ways to actually spend time with loved ones without spending money. So what you can do is actually plan 3 days out. So by planning 3 days out, you're going out, spending time with loved ones, but you're not spending money, which is fantastic. In London especially, there are so many things that you can do for free. It's unbelievable. From visiting museums to going on nature walks to visiting the Tate Modern to going to national galleries. There's literally so many things in London that you can do that you don't have to pay money for. So why not take advantage of them? So you can actually check out the Time Out website for free and fun things to do in your area. And there's also a website called Things to Do for Free in London. So yeah, I'll link them all in the description box below. But check out those websites if you're looking for ideas for things to do for free. You don't have to spend a fortune just to enjoy yourself and just to spend time with loved ones. It's important to have a savings goal. So choose a savings goal and have something in which you're saving towards. So whether it's a holiday, a car, a house, whatever it is, just set yourself some kind of financial goal that you're working towards. It could even literally be a sinking fund for Christmas. So you're saving up for Christmas presents. Just have something that you're saving towards and a goal in which you're working towards. That way you'll be more than likely to achieve the goal because you know that you have a priority and you have something you're working towards. So you're more likely to focus on what you're working towards and not spend money on unnecessary things. It's also great when you have a savings goal because you're able to track your progress. So you know that if it's £1,000 you're saving towards, every £50 towards that goal means you're one step closer to hitting that final goal, and you're going to stay motivated to actually stay the course because you know that there's a finish line in sight. When you're trying to save money, one thing that you should do is prioritize paying off your debt. So if you actually have debt that you need to pay off and that you need to clear, definitely prioritize paying that debt off before saving money. I know that's a mistake that we made when we were in so much debt. We tried to make ourselves feel better by saving at the same time. So it's like, okay, yes, we do have 30k worth of debt, but we also have £1,000 in savings. So we felt like we were at least achieving something. But in reality, it's not worth it because what you'll find is that you're paying a lot more interest on the debt than you're going to make in that savings account. So it's best that you prioritize paying off your debt so that you have more money to save so that you can reach your savings goal a lot quicker. So the last point I would say is ditch bottled water. Like that is something that we spend so much money on and it's not necessary in reality. Bottled water isn't even as good for you a lot of the time. So a lot of the bottled water that we drink that we think, oh yes, it's better than tap water, a lot of the times it's probably even worse than the water in the taps. What I'd recommend you do is actually stop using the bottled water and actually get yourself a water filter. So yes, it might cost a little bit more in the short term, but in the long run, you're going to save a lot more money and it's probably going to be a lot better for your health. So those are 12 practical ways that you can start saving money today. If you have any other suggestions for practical ways that you save money, please leave them in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you really enjoyed this content, and please subscribe to my channel if you're yet to do so. And that's literally it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on my next video. Take care for now. Bye.